Hello. This summer for our leadership program, we were assigned to do capstone projects. My group mates and I decided to look further into the Harkness method, which we have come to learn and to love. We looked around campus and got thoughts and opinions from fellow students from Exeter. And hopefully from their insights, we'll be able to spread awareness of the Harkness method back into our schools around the globe.
What does Harkness mean to you?
A whole lot.
Harkness to me is a safe and intimate environment where I can express my ideas freely and have an open mind where I can understand other people's point of views and their cultures and backgrounds.
Harkness is like a place where I can express my ideas and hear what other people have to say so I can get deeper into the topic we're talking about.
It's like there's a ton of communication, you have people helping out each other, and you don't always have to rely on a teacher, you can rely on each other.
Harkness to me means it's being able to willfully submit your own opinion to a group and be able to discuss it as well as learn from it, and also be able to comment on other people's opinions and then eventually come to a conclusion of what's right.
How does it compare to traditional forms of learning at your school?
At my school, we do more of a lecture-based learning where the teachers talk and we take notes. And for me, at least, it definitely Harkness works a lot better for me. I think just being that involved, especially in math, being able to be involved in the learning and other subjects, can kind of ask your peers what they think, and I think it works better than normal teacher lectures.
Back in Chicago, we really focus on the teacher teaching the students, and Harkness is more the students teaching the teacher, and I feel as though it's like a one-sided kind of learning back at home, so it's a lot different here.
I would say Harkness is a lot better than what I'm used to, because back in Tennessee, Memphis, where I'm from, the students, they don't really pay attention to the teacher. They just sit at the desk, individual desk, and do whatever. And a lot of them just sit there confused and quiet because they don't want to ask for help. But with the Harkness table, everybody's right there, and there's a lot of communication amongst the students.
At my school, the teacher just talks to us and tells us what's right, and they don't really encourage discussing it because there's always just one answer, not multiple things you could say about a topic.
It's very, very different. A lot of the times, later into the school year, you have, kids, sometimes including myself, who don't participate all the time, or maybe just tired, or just don't want to listen or something. But with Harkness, year-round you have something good.
Well, back home it's mostly the teacher talking for the majority of the class. Students are able to discuss what the topics we've learned that day. But in Exeter, Harkness, it's a student-based discussion, which is totally different from where I come from.
What kind of impact do you think it would have if you brought it back to your school?
It would definitely be different because a lot of people in New York City are used to a lot of student-based discussions. So it would have a positive effect, definitely, because more people would be able to express freely what they're thinking and their ideas and takes on whatever we learned that day. So yeah, it would be positive.
My school, there's there's groups, and so hopefully you can bring everyone together, to communicate, to work together, so we're not as divided as we are already.
I think that more people would understand the topics we learn more, and everyone would be more comfortable being able to talk in school.
I think the Harkness method would really help the schools in Memphis, because the students would be able to be more engaged and not just sit there quiet and confused. They'll feel better about the work that they're doing, maybe even help their test scores and things also. So
I think Harkness at my school would definitely be somewhat of a challenge. I go to a public school, and there's a lot of kids who aren't invested in their own learning. But I think for the majority of people, if they're willing to put the effort into it and doing the homework and being prepared for class, it could pay off greatly and help improve the school. Harkness plays a big role, and if you're willing to put in the work, you'll get good out of it.
I think if I brought Harkness back to my school, it would be a lot different. The kids would be more engaged in class instead of just having 2 to 1 kid speaking in class. It'll be the entire class. It'll be more, all right, the teacher's just there to help us get to the answer and not just them giving us the answer. So it will make us more developed learners and ready for the world in the future.
What examples have you seen of successful Harkness implementation?
So at my former middle school, which is part of a public school system in a town like 20 minutes away from here, not only is the Harkness method actually used in some classrooms, but there are actually Harkness tables in some of the classrooms themselves. And that sort of came about because there was a group of students, myself included, who came to summer school at Phillips Exeter and obviously took Harkness classes. And then we went back to the school, to our school district, and talked to some of the teachers about just how great the method was and how much it really helped us. And that they saw our enthusiasm for that, and they decided that they wanted to try implementing it in the classrooms at the high school. And then that sort of trickled down to a couple teachers in the middle school who really latched onto it, and they tried it out just using like chairs arranged in a circular formation. And the administration saw that it was really working really well, and the students were really getting behind it, and so were the parents and the teachers. So they began to adopt it and sort of buy into it, and that allowed them to kind of go to the next step of actually officially adopting the Harkness method by putting the tables in there.
What experience have you had with both the traditional method of learning and the Harkness method, and how do they compare?
So I've taught at schools that use a style of learning that's called active learning. So the idea behind that is really that you're doing lessons that are, that you're constantly switching it up and keeping it active and keeping the students engaged by really playing to the different strengths of different students. And of course the idea is that students play a larger role in the classroom experience than if they were just a teacher at the front of the class lecturing for 50 minutes or an hour and a half or whatever. And that's good, and it works for some schools and for some students, I think. But for me, what I love about Harkness is that it really empowers students. It empowers them to think for themselves, but also to realize that they are enough, that their ideas are enough, and their ways of thinking are enough. Just in terms of establishing a presence at the table and becoming a part of a community of young learners. And I think it works really for two particular groups of students really well. It works for students who are really smart and do really well and know that they're good students, but they might not always find themselves in a community of learners like that, so they might become a little jaded, I guess, about just whether or not it's possible to find a group of people that care about ideas and learning as much as you do. And then it also works for people who may not have ever been given the opportunity to really think for themselves or to really contribute large, complex ideas and wrestle with ideas and realize that learning is a process and that it's okay to make mistakes and ask questions. And just being at a table with a group of people who are learning like that, it makes you want to join in that, and it makes you want to develop those skills and also gain the confidence slowly but surely to really create a place for yourself at the table. And I just think that those experiences are invaluable, and it can make just such a difference in the lives of any students.
Thank you so much for watching our video.
We hope you enjoyed and learned something new about Harkness.
It is possible to make change, and it starts with you.
Thanks so much, and good luck.